This is Regina Fisher. Today I'm going to talk about using Google Groups in education. Google Groups are simply online discussion forums. Before we talk about how to use Google Groups, let's talk about why we would use them. We can use them to build communities of people with common interests and questions. Communities like Civil War buffs or guidance counselors who are new to Naviance. We can use them to discuss these common interests with other interested parties. In the process of continued online discussion, we will learn how to communicate effectively in online forums, which is a very useful skill in today's world. Groups also provide an easy mechanism for sharing knowledge and ideas in a variety of forms. In the education world, we also have the peace of mind of knowing we can make the group private and the conversation will be closed. But what really distinguishes Google Groups is that it is a searchable Usenet with an archive of 700 million posts. You can search for posts on very specific points or obscure topics and find opinions, articles, and information. The advanced search, for instance, will allow you to search for a word over a time interval, which is very useful for historians studying the last 30 years. To get started, we will learn how to find and join a group, how to post topics and responses, how to create a group, and how to search the Usenet archive. Let's get started right now. Go to a new tab and type in Google Groups. Choose Google Groups, and it's going to take you to the Groups homepage. On the homepage, you want to notice a few things. Over on the right-hand side, you have a My Settings, which will allow you to make personal settings, and you also have a General Settings tab, which will give you some menu options on how to adjust for your personal settings here, but also where you can get help and give feedback. In addition, you want to notice in this corner which account you're in. This is important to note because school accounts will not allow you to access public groups. My district also has restrictions on how teachers can create groups. So for this reason, I'm going to stay in my personal account. On the left-hand side, we have a brief menu. My Groups, that is groups I belong to, Home, which we are on right now, and Starred Topics. We also have a Favorites menu, which I can choose my favorite groups to be included in, and a recent history of viewed topics and also searches. How do we find a group? Click on My Groups, then click on any group that you are a member of by clicking on the group name. This is also how you would star a group. I can indicate that it's a favorite by clicking on the star, or take it out of my favorites by unhighlighting the star, and you'll see it show up here when it is highlighted. By clicking on the name of the group, I will be given entry to the group that I'm already a member of. You want to notice that it's a private group. It says it here, so it's not an open membership. And this is where the recent topics are listed. Let's look at different ways to join a group. We can search for a group by typing in a word or a phrase into the search box. AP Calculus Teachers. Notice as I'm typing that Google is supplying some suggestions as to what it thinks I'm looking for. So all of these first items that show up are their suggestions for how I could finish what I'm typing. So if that's the direction I was going, or if there's something that I hadn't thought of previously, I could click on any of these. Below that, next to the quotation marks, are posts that have the phrase or word that I was looking for contained in them. Further down still are the Google Group results. The first one has the term AP Calculus Teachers anywhere in the group. The second one, the group name is actually AP Calculus Teachers. I'm going to choose the first one because it's much more likely that I'll have some results. So going there, you can see right away I have one group called Arizona AP Calculus Teachers. If we click on that, you can see that in order to become a member, I have to apply for membership. So we take a peek at what that involves. I would have to decide if I want to include my Google profile or show my photo, and I also would have to apply to join this group, and then I'd have to wait to hear back from the owner of the group. If I choose another group to take a look at, I search a little further down. There's many, many to choose from, as you can see. Here's one that the name of the group makes it seem reputable, K-12 Ed Math. Not sure, but you can see some of the discussion that took place here. And this is helpful to indicate if you want to participate in the group, because you're getting a taste for what some of the dialogue would be about and who it's conducted by. And in addition to that, if you go to the top of the posts, you can try very hard to get there. You can see the name of the group, K-12 Ed Math, and if you just click on that, you then have the option to join the group. So by choosing Join Group, it takes me to the page that I have to go to fill out in order to become a participant in the group. So I can choose to link to my Google profile. I can decide if I want to automatically subscribe to the email updates when I post to a topic, and I'm going to click Join the Group. By joining the group, I'm of course agreeing to the Google Terms of Service, but I'm also aware that I'm entering a public group, so that there might be quite a few advertisers, or there's going to be some spam participating very often in these groups, which is why so many groups now are private as opposed to just remaining public. I am now in the topics page for this K12.ed.math group, but there are a lot of topics to choose from. Over 13,000 to be precise. So I'm going to use the search bar engine again to whittle down the number of choices. I go to the search bar and I decide to type in calculus, because right now I'm getting results for all kinds of math topics. And once again, it's going to give me some choices. I'm just going to hit enter, and I went from 13,000 down to 696 topics. That's still a little too broad for me, so I have a couple of options as to what I can do now. I can try to refine the search again by making the topic more specific. Calculus optimization. So I can see that it will allow me to go back and search all groups for this topic, or I can be happy just looking at the 8 different topics that I got in this particular group. And just by doing a quick review of them, I can see that some of them are going to interest me more than others, and then I can read and respond to these posts. Another way that I can whittle down choices is to look at the filters. So by clicking on filters, I can decide to only look at topics that I started. I can also restrict them by when they were last modified or when they were first posted, which, depending on what topic I'm interested in, it can be very significant. And I can easily turn the filters on and off down here at the bottom. So while we're on the topics page, we'll go over how to respond to a topic and how to start a new topic of your own. To respond, we're simply going to go to an item that interests us, click on the topic, and then hit reply and start typing in the space where the cursor is. This is about journals, so I'm responding that the Math Association of America also has very good books and periodicals. And I hit post. It gives me a box so that I can decide if I want to edit my post or if I'm comfortable posting. And it's been posted. If I wanted to start my own topic string, I can just come on up here to the red button and hit New Topic. I will type in what my subject is, and I'm going to ask the membership about telescoping series, which is something we're working on right now. This may start a discussion in the among the teachers of the course as to how much time should be devoted to teaching this particular topic. Not terribly interesting topic, and then I can either choose to discard that or post it. The last thing I want to show you is how to create a group. In order to do this, we're going to go back to the group's home page, and from here I'm going to be clicking on the Create Group button. There are two kinds of groups that I want to focus on, and they're going to be email groups and web forums. To begin, I'm going to come up with a group name. I'm going to call it my second sample group. I just want to make sure that nobody else has taken the name. So I am immediately, an email is generated for the group, and no one else has this name. I can put in a description if I want here. Sample purposes. I choose the language that I would like the group to be primarily in, and then I have some other decisions to make as well. This is the big one here. I have to decide what kind of a group I want to make. An email group is an email list. It's a group where messages are sent out to all the group members. It's good for groups that commonly communicate via email, and this is the form of a group that my district uses. The explanation for an email group appears immediately underneath it. If I go to the drop-down menu and I choose Web Forum, that definition shows up beneath it, which is very helpful because it'll remind you of the different types of groups and what they mean. A web forum is good for a school domain, and anyone in that school domain may join the group. It's good for discussions among people who have common interests. And we're going to make a web forum group right now as an example. The next big decisions are the permissions, and we're going to decide what roles each of the members of our group are going to have. So in order to do that, we're just going to look at these more closely. I want all members to be able to view the topics. And if we go to the drop down, you can see that all members will include the managers, the owners, and anyone who signs on to the group, but not the public. But we could make the group discussions completely public. Also, it would be up to us. The next thing is who can post to the group. Once again, the owners, the managers, and the members are going to be permitted to post to the group. The distinction really between being a member versus a manager versus an owner is that members in general can post to the group. Managers can post, but they can also approve and add members. And owners can add members, and they can also add other owners as well. So those are the distinctions between those roles. The last decision to make is joining the group. It says anyone can ask, and we can choose if we want to only invite the users or if we want to make it completely public. So I think we're going to leave it with well, only invited users. And then we are all set. We've made all of our decisions, so we can choose to create the group. It wants to make sure that I'm a person, and we can continue. And now I can make a decision on inviting people to join the group. I can also add a topic to get started posting, and I can customize my group settings. When I can choose if I want to link to my Google profile or not and show my photo with the posts. And all of these decisions as I go through, I can make decisions. Do I want my full name or do I want to use a nickname? And this is how I'm going to appear to others. Am I okay with that? I'm going to save my changes. And here we have the new group, and where we can add a welcome message to our new members, and then also begin the process of inviting members to the group. I will add those members by coming over here to Manage, the drop down, and I come all the way to the left and it says Invite Members. I can write an invitation message, and I can also then put in the email addresses of people I would like to invite. So I have myself to invite in a different, my alias and the message, and then I can send the invites. And it's all that easy. And I'm going to end there and call it a night. Thanks very much for watching.